Mamas and papas, I'm Alex.
I'm David.
And we're here to do something completely different, completely new. We haven't done it before. It's going to be a mystery bag challenge.
What is a mystery bag challenge?
David, I'm glad that you asked. It is where we go to a store and we pick random items for each other. And then we present those items to the other. The other has no clue what's going to be those items, but they have to come up with activities in the moment with those items. Pretty straightforward.
It's like a surprise birthday party.
It's like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get next.
Ooh, I like that.
And for today, David is going to be the one who's going to have to pick out the items from the mystery bag and let y'all know what he would do with them. So maybe you can go to the stores and buy those same items and do these activities with your kiddos.
David Lakey.
All right, everyone. I went to my local Dollar Tree, so everything inside this mystery bag cost $1. David's going to open it live in the moment so we can get his reaction. Mystery bag, sir?
I didn't know my birthday was today.
Your birthday's every day.
That's what I'm talking about. So let's see what Alex got me in this mystery bag.
And I tried hard to stump him so that way he has to work really hard to come up with activities.
Let's see what we got. Ooh. So we're going to take baths. Okay, so maybe some water play. We can hold that one. Interesting.
The first item, it is these little bath sponges, 4 different colors. And yes, I got it for a freaking $1. Isn't that awesome?
Okay, take that. You want me to explain what I want? Or
Not yet. Let's show off all the goodies.
Feathers. Okay. Interesting. Some nice colors of the rainbow.
Second item, it is feathers. I'm excited to see what David's going to use or how he's going to utilize these in a learning situation.
Tupperware. Ooh.
So as you can see, the 3 items are 2 things of Tupperware, some feathers, and some bath sponges. David's now going to open them up and determine how he would use these items with an early intervention kiddo.
Welcome back. So Alex gave me some interesting activities to come up with.
It wasn't easy walking around Dollar Tree looking for all these things, trying to figure out what David can do with them. But I was like, hey, he's a smart man. He'll figure something out.
I love this idea of a mystery. Because feathers, to a toddler, if there's some sensory issues going on, they're not going to want to touch.
It's going to be hit or miss for sure.
But you can always do a little game, either relay races or different type of racing or competition where they have to blow the feathers off the table, off the couch, off their high chair. And all you want to do is you want to get really low to the feather.
So this is activity number 1.
Activity number 1, using feathers outside the box. Because if there's some sensory stuff going on, our toddlers are not going to want to touch these feathers. That's fine. They don't need to touch them because we're going to have them blow. Using the muscles of the mouth. Whoa. Whoa. So that took me 2 times to blow them off the table, or as far as where we want them to blow. Our toddlers, they might take 5 or 6. You might have to count each time they blow using the counting system or en route to 5 or en route to 6, making it very fun as far as them trying. The whole purpose of this is for them to just use all those muscles in the mouth, the manipulation of the tongue to blow.
So that's activity number 1. It is using the feathers and blowing them off the table, and it's working on all those oral motor muscles within the mouth. Fun activity, on the spot activity. Hopefully y'all can go out and try it.
Interesting. Sponges for bath. There is some texture, there's some sensory going on in this also. Maybe after you use the feathers and they get a little bit more comfortable with that sensory, you can go into touching these. Go ahead and touch that, Alex. I think there's a little bit of sensory input to that.
Yeah, there can be.
And I think when you also, soak them or submerge them, there's also going to be some water sensory input there too.
Definitely will add some weight to it, and it'd be a fun activity to do with water for sure. So how would you use these, David?
So the first thing that came to my mind, was the display of it. in this actual little container here, it had them stacking. So I thought maybe for a toddler that is struggling with stacking and that concept of one on top of the other, I was thinking maybe in an adaptive way using the actual container, an adaptive version of stacking. So blue, ooh, blue, purple, and then you're gonna give them the prompt on top. So using the container as more of like an adaptive stacking tool is what I came up with in my head. So purple on
Honestly,
top.
I didn't see that coming. So what David's talking about is if he's the teacher and I'm the toddler, he's going to tell me which one to put in.
So as I say, okay, let's go for pink. Oops, Teacher David went wrong color. There's pink. And then we're gonna go ahead and either maybe have them put it in or go ahead and if they grab it and they miss, you're gonna grab their hand and you're gonna place on top. And before we get to the last one, check this out. We're gonna use a little bit of that momentum and we're gonna name our colors. So we're gonna grab the toddler's hand and we're gonna go blue, purple, pink.
What color is this?
I'm gonna go with green. I'm just gonna generalize that. Teal, we ain't gonna teach no teal to a toddler. I mean, you can go out that range. I would call that green. I mean, a diluted green, you know, but that's a green. So, you know, we might just, you know, and the last one, they might have that momentum to put the one on top, you know, and that's fine. On top. Oh, nice try. Let's try again. On top. Perfect. And then you might want to go back to colors again, like blue, purple, pink.
Off green.
Off green. And then you can go ahead and try again. And I mean, there's different activities that you can come up with this by yourself. You do have to be very careful. I am feeling the edges of this. But of course, you're the parent. You have the best judgment when we're doing these skills. It seems like we can also actually throw them out too. Yeah, it does. Look at, we can even do a gross motor activity where we're throwing them out and they have to maybe go find the colors.
It's like a toddler shake weight.
It is like, toddler shake weight, you know, and we can ask them, you know, let's find the purple. Now we're identifying colors. I think I can come up with at least 5 different activities for this. But I like the idea of my first one where it's adaptive and stacking.
Now that is a great point. For a lot of our younger kiddos, stacking is a bit of an issue. Using something like the tube where you can place it in or even larger items to stack in is always great. If you got a bunch of shoe boxes, just tape those things shut and have your toddler stack those things. And as they get older and as their fine motor abilities improve, they can go to smaller things. But this is a great activity, David. Great on the spot of coming up with something. I mean, this can have a huge impact in the development overall because you're tying in cognitively with understanding, picking the right colors. You're working on colors, and then you're working on stacking. Good job. I'm excited to see what you would do for activity number 3, sir.
So activity number 1 in activity number 2 in the books. So Alex threw me an interesting one with Tupperware. And the first thing I thought was taking the lids off, of course, and identifying and grouping them. So that's what my mind did instantly, was grouping them. Now,
Grouping or sorting?
Grouping or sorting the items. I don't know if you guys can see, I put 2 lids together, 2 containers together. And then what I am going to do is now I'm going to switch them and put them apart so I can identify what the action does for the toddler. I mean, we can even do little games where we're spinning them, maybe even putting one on top, exploring. But the first thing that comes to mind is matching. And I know many times we'll buy puzzles for our toddlers and it's just not the right timing for them. But the first thing I thought about was matching, because that's a skill between ages 16 months and 3 where that skill starts to become mastered. So I thought maybe giving them the example of seeing how to match them correctly, but also letting them explore in their own little way. So I was thinking maybe even back to stacking them, but also letting them explore their own way, but also giving them the proper way of the function of the actual activity. So I was thinking more matching. Definitely matching and sort of like puzzles, you know. I think you can also draw different numbers on them. For example, if you get a marker and you write number 2, they have to match the actual number to the lid. You can do circle. You can put a circle on here and a circle on the bottom where they have to match the lid to the circle.
You know, David, though, that is a great point. But another big thing with these is the little slip on the top for
Fine motor.
an opening. So working on those cues, open, close, or even on top, and then to have to push close on top and listen for the sound. So your toddlers are going to be having to stop quietly and then listen
Push.
to it shut.
I like it. Definitely, I think you can do a little bit more than, 5 different activities with this, ranging on, different ages of development.
You can also put all the feathers inside one or all the little spongy things in the other and work on sorting. This one, when I thought about it, for David, it's like the number of different activities that we can utilize in multiple ways. It's the activity that I think for a lot of us professionals, we do carry in different. I mean, you can put sensory. You can make
Sensory
bins.
I love sensory bins.
But right now, we're just sticking with the 3 items that I selected for David, and I think he gave a very good activity of matching. If you're putting numbers on it too, that's a problem-solving
numbers.
game. You can do a number of things with this one activity. So there was our first Early Intervention Brothers mystery bag. I think David, there's feathers flying around. I think David did a great job with the 3 items presented. He used each one individually, but you can definitely combine all these items together. David, first initial thought, what age range do you think these 3 activities work best with?
I think we're going to stick with that between 16 and 36 months.
Okay, so there you have it. If you have a 16 to 36-month-old, these are some items that you guys can use. Yes, they're unconventional. Yes, they're not your typical toy. But learning doesn't necessarily need typical toys. Your child's in that range of exploring everything, and pretty much everything can be used as a toy activity. I mean, who would thought just to use these for a toy activity? But David gave you all some ideas. So go out, explore, and just see. Just let your child explore. Once again, like, subscribe, share. We are the Early Intervention Brothers. Hopefully you all got something out of this video.